Hey, good morning, everybody on Instagram. My name is Sean Murphy. I am your host for the next little bit. I am a five-time #1 best-selling author. I am a international speaker and trainer, and I'm a dad. I'm a ranch owner. I'm a live event producer, and we're gonna have some fun here. So where is YouTube? Is this YouTube? Yes, it is. Let me mute that. All right, already is. Cool. Get this off of here. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good to see you all. Hey, everybody. There's Peggy. Peggy, how are you? Big hugs to you in Singapore. So here's my question for you today. What is your rhythm? Think about that for a second. Think about that for more than a second, I hope. What is your rhythm? In this conversation this month, it's all about distraction. How do we become distracted? We're listening to one of the great audios, one of the great books, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. We're having this conversation because this month is about how do we become indistractable. And good morning, YouTube. Good to see everybody there. So now that you're aware of what this conversation is about, I want you to think for just a second. What is it that is your rhythm? What makes up your rhythm? I don't know why it went through my head. If you're Catholic and you're married, when you're Catholic and you're married, there's something called the rhythm way. The rhythm cycle. Anyway, so that for those of you young adults, you'll have to ask your mom and dad about that because I'm not going to go into that. My question for you is what is your rhythm of success? What is your rhythm of success? And when I say that, I want to ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you have moments of great success where you expand your horizons and you fill new niches of creativity and wonder and you create more income? And then that rhythm slowly has a tendency to fade off and fall back into what used to be at a higher level. Your pain is not as much, but you're back into the pain that you're more comfortable with. And you call it your comfort zone. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Tiffany. You're more comfortable with because it's a pain you're used to, right? You've developed a callus on your soul, on your spirit, on your desire, and you've become comfortable with it. And people are sad. They say things to you like, oh, man, keep trying, keep going for it. Then there's another group of people who say, I told you it wasn't going to work. I'm sorry that you tried, you stuck your neck out and it got whacked off. And I'm sorry that you feel bad, but you knew you couldn't do it. You know, our people don't do things like that. Our gender don't do things like that. Our educated minds can't do things like that. And you wind up in this rhythm of good and not so good, good and not so good. That's called a rhythm. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. When you do this rhythm hypnotically, it's almost impossible to break. It's impossible to break on your own. It's impossible to break with a sticky note stuck on a mirror. I am a millionaire. Good luck. Good luck. Let me know how that works. If 98% of the population is stuck in a pattern that's not allowing them to achieve success, if 2% of the world controls more wealth than the other 98% combined, you can't say it's unfair. Yes, it is unfair because you have chosen not to know the rules of how to play the game. Could you imagine if you went to go play Go Fish and it's a card game. You went to go play, what's the Uno, You went to go play Uno, and every time they did the reverse card, it meant something different. The rules changed. You'd say, screw this. I'm not playing this. These rules suck. You change the rules every time. Well, that's what most people think the wealthy do. They change the rules on you every time. I got to do this in my job, and I got to do that in my job, and I got to do this. And they told me I now got to do this, and they changed the rules, and I got to show up early, and I got to stay late. And they didn't change the rules. You're not in the game. Wait, what? You are not in the game. And let me let you in on a little secret. What muscle are you working out to play the game better? This one will make your head spin a little bit. What muscle are you using to play the game better? See, if you're a football player and you're on the front line, you're going to do some leg presses. You're going to do some arm stuff. If you're the quarterback, what's the quarterback doing? He's using his muscle of memory. What are the linebackers doing? What are the wide receivers doing? Do they do the same kind of leg presses that the front line does? No, they do different leg presses because they need speed. So let me ask you this. How well is your speed of thought to deal with a game that changes on a daily basis? I'm just letting you in on a little secret, right? Look at this little thing behind me. Powered by ketones. How well is your wealth brain? Let me ask you this. How well are your thoughts of wealth? What is the speed of wealth for you? Is it in the next 20 years you'll finally get success? I'm telling you, if you want to improve the speed of your brain to create wealthy thoughts, two things. One, you got to change the people you hang around. Bob Proctor said, if you don't want to be sick, don't talk to sick people. If you don't want to be poor, somebody type in a chat. If you don't want to be poor, you should probably not talk to the WHO. And this doesn't mean poor in money. This is poor in spirit, poor in relationships, poor in love, poor in time management. How many of you hang around the poor of time management? They ask you, what are you going to binge watch tonight, starting tonight? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What are you going to binge watch till Monday morning when you got to go back to work, exhausted, tired, frustrated, and thinking that the world is against you? Hey, welcome to the fact that you have a poor mindset. Well, how do you change that if the law of hypnotic rhythm is in place? You've got to literally upgrade your hardware. Some of you have an iPhone 10, 12. Drop in the chat what number iPhone you have. I think mine's an 10, I think. I'm not sure. What kind of iPhone do you have? Do you know what level iPhone do you have? Do you know what version it is? I'm serious. Or Android? I don't know how Android does it. Most of you would be afraid to type in the number that your iPhone is. But now let me ask you, what version brain do you have? What's the version? What's the software upgrade? What version brain do you have? And here's where you are lulled into the illusion that your brain is the latest operating software possible. Let me let you in on a little secret. Can I let you in on a little secret? If you wake up agitated, frustrated, if you fall out of joy at all during the day, your operating system for your brain software is maybe a 2, a 3. Why do I say that? Because as a child, how often do you see a child wake up absolutely? Now, I understand they cry for food and you listen, I got something in my pants that needs to be taken out, Mom. What is it that they operate the rest of the time? They operate in their own world of complete awareness, a complete joy, of complete absorption of everything, learning the rules. Listen, I heard it said this morning, you plant an acorn, a great oak is going to grow from it because inside that acorn is the coding of its ancestors. Yes or yes? The inside the acorn is the coating of its ancestors. Ready? Inside you is the coating of your ancestors. Sorry to let you in on a little trick, but you're going to be the same way your generations have been. You're going to do just a little bit better because you understand maybe nutrition a little bit better. You understand how important exercise is. Maybe you've been able to move. Jim Rohn says, listen, if you don't like where you're at, move. You're not a tree. You're the seed of your ancestors. I bet you think about money the same way. I bet you probably have similar relationships. I bet you probably have similar group of friends. All of this is because the thing that runs your ancestral code is called your brain. Yes, there is natural laws that are in play here. The only way, one of the few ways for you to get out is to break the habit. How do you break the habit? You have to have a decision. The challenge is that you can't think of a version 10.0 decision if you're running a 1.0 software. Go look at what your brain uses for fuel. I'm serious. Some of you know where the best place to get gas is for your car because you're concerned about pennies a gallon. What would happen if you're wealthy? Do you think the guy that drives the Lamborghini or the folks that drive the Rolls Royces, do you think do they even fill up their tank? Do you think they're shopping? Do you think they're looking at the stoplight going, well, Costco's got it for 4 cents more? In all the years I've been to Costco, I have not seen a Rolls Royce come through Costco. I'm just saying, I've not seen a Rolls Royce. I've seen Rolls Royces around, maybe my bad timing. I don't see Lamborghinis filling up a Costco. I just don't. Where are you filling up? What are you filling your brain up with? Algorithms? Social media? What's the rhythm of your success? You want to change the rhythm of your success? You truly want to be a chain breaker? You're going to have to upgrade your brain. Well, I'm just going to learn better scripts. Not going to work. I'm going to do affirmations every day. Not going to work. Listen, this isn't me being an ass. This is me telling you statistics. And when you can rub your eyes hard enough and open them and just glimpse that you're stuck where you're stuck because of the way of your thoughts. But I want more. Want in one hand and in the other, and see what you get first. When you grasp and when you hear and when you finally allow yourself to hear the science behind your brain, you'll make some decisions. That thing that sits up here that controls everything, that's wrapped in a bone casing, your spinal cord. One little nick on your spinal cord and your whole life changes. Something so fragile that it's encased in bone. Your brain encased in bone. Every place else, the bone's on the inside, right? It's for structure. The brain is this gelatin mass inside of that incredible cranium of yours. It's protected by bone. Everything else, the bone's on the inside. Look at your heart. Your heart is protected by bone. It is in a bone casing. And there's still some spaces and some stuff in there. It's not in a solid case. So your brain is the most precious thing on the body. If you believe in the creator said, we've got to protect this. And it's done a pretty good job. I get calls from people all the time when their kids whack their head and they get a concussion. What do I do to fix it? What do I do to fix it? What's the first thing I need to do to fix it? How do I make my brain healthier? How do I get... What do I have to do? What are the doctors going to tell me? Why do they ask me? Because I'm a brain specialist in understanding how to rewire the brain, how to take old stories that keep you stuck, that keep you frustrated, that put you in the rhythm of your success, of pain and misery, and I rewire that. I understand neuroencoding. I understand groups of neurons and how to create new neural networks inside your brain, how to rewire an old story. It's not hard to rewire the brain. If any of you have had any trauma in your life, your brain got rewired instantly. Instantly. So you want to create success. The challenge is your visualization is probably not so good. You're looking out of a dirty windshield trying to visualize, and your self-talk patterns are running saying you're not good enough. Why are you doing this? You've tried this 55 times. How many of you have ever tried and failed, tried and fallen short, tried and gotten frustrated? Listen, how many times have you tried and gotten frustrated on a goal? How many times have you tried a goal and absolutely on the first time knocked it out of the park? Which one is more? Let's just get down to the brass tacks. Which one of the rhythms of your success happens more often? Try and fail or try and succeed? It's that simple. It's that simple. The brain does two things. Will this kill me, or how fast can I recognize a pattern? And if you've tried and failed more often than you've tried and won, I'm not saying you're not this tenacious son of a gun who says, I'm not giving up. My question to you is, let's get real, let's get clear, let's have a true face-to-face conversation that says, if you've tried and fallen short more times than you've tried and won, what pattern do you think is running in your brain? If the brain does two things, it says, hey, will this kill me? And the second thing it asks is, I don't want to use any resources unnecessarily. Can I make this a pattern? Can I establish a pattern in my life right now that every time I go for something, let's activate the reticular activating system. Let's go activate the reticular activating system and say, listen, this is one of those things where we're going to struggle. We're going to write down our gratitude. We're going to do a video every day. We're going to write down our gratitude every day. I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock. And that bullshit's out the window in less than 21 days. Do you realize the pattern that you're asking for, the results you're asking for, is going to take an 18-month rewire? Good morning, Miss Chelman, Mel. I know who you are. Mel. This thing that we're trying, this 18-month pattern, you want it in a week. You're running software that can't possibly allow you to operate at the level you want inside of it. Could you do it in a week? Oh, hell yeah. I can show you in 90 seconds. I can show you in 90 seconds how to rewire your brain so that you'll not waste one more second. I promise you. 90 seconds, I can show you how you can rewire your brain. It's not a brain rewire, but it's a rewire you could use that in 90 seconds, you'll never fall short again. You can put 20 people in your business by Sunday. Promise you, guaranteed, 100%. My paycheck against your paycheck, my annual income versus your annual income, guaranteed. Can you change the mind of somebody who doesn't want their mind changed? The answer is absolutely yes. Wait a minute, whoa. You're saying if I don't want my mind changed, if I'm stuck in the way I am and I'm going to hold on fast to my thoughts, to my vision, to my dream, you're saying you could change that? Yep, in 90 seconds. Without a gun. Gun would be easy. That'd be easy. It's called leverage. But I can show you how you will have leverage. You're not using the leverage you have over yourself. Why? Because, attention all shoppers, you've been drifting. You've been sliding through life. You don't have traction. Most people say, I got to get back to work. I'm so distracted. From what? You don't even know what the frick you've been distracted from. You're not even working on a major goal. You don't even have a definiteness of purpose. I'll tell you when you get distracted. When you're taking somebody to the hospital and somebody says, hey, listen, how about them Bears? The Bears. How about the Bears? Are they even still a sports team? I think they are. You'd be like, would you shut up about that and get me to the hospital? I'm going to reach the next rank in my business. I need to understand algorithms. Would you shut up about that and get to the next rank? Could you imagine if you had somebody over your shoulder saying that stuff? How much of an ass they would sound? Do you know why you don't say it? Because your brain is operating at you haven't upgraded the hardware. You have software version 2022. Your brain hardware is running on 5000 BC. It's the same brain. It's the same brain that is wired for the saber-toothed tiger. If your phone ever rings, if your cell phone ever rings and you're behind on your bills and you know the ring, the sound of the ring that you put in for bill collectors and your heart races and everything else, you're running on a 5000 BC, 20,000 BC year old brain, a 200,000 year old brain. That's the hardware you got. And you think you're going to create some wild success in this topsy world that we're in? And you wonder why you keep failing. You wonder why you keep falling. You wonder why you keep coming up short. It's because your hardware is not upgraded. Well, I don't know how to upgrade my hardware. I can't take my brain out and go do push-ups with it. The hell you can't. Metaphorically, you can upgrade your brain by getting your brain on ketones. Go do the research. Listen, don't think I'm an expert in it. I got no clue. I just know the research and the science that I've looked at. The studies from 1900, 1910, the reason that they put brains on ketones, which your body makes, by the way. You can go do all of this without ever buying a supplement. You just won't have the tenacity and the capability to do it. It's going to take 7 days of you being disciplined and hard work. I mean, literally physical exercise to trigger the metabolism in your liver to create ketones, but your body makes ketones. That's why you can't go for more than, 72 hours, 3-4 days without water, minutes without oxygen, but you can go a week, 10 days, 16 days without food. You may not like it, but your body has this metabolism, this ability to protect its fat and all of this stuff. And then when your body's in dire straits, it'll say, okay, we'll start to use that a little bit. Can't think you can't go without food? Have you seen the pictures of Auschwitz? Have you seen how often they ate? So don't tell me that, well, that's not the same. Your body has the Creator gave you a way to protect yourself. Here's the challenge. You're using all of the shit out there and your brain's not been upgraded for the last 500,000 years. Go Google it. Don't listen to me. The fact that I'm a brain expert, a neuroencoding expert, a self-talk expert, an addiction to approval expert, a mental toughness expert, everything dealing with the brain. Don't listen to me. But if you want to save yourself a lot of pain and misery of having to do the research and having to do the studies, you want to make 2023 your best year ever, I don't give a rat's butt what opportunity you're in. You need to upgrade your brain. Not that I'm going to make you a slight suggestion. No, you need to upgrade your hardware. If you're overweight, you got a skinny brain. You need a fat brain. Go Google it. Overweight brain size. You'll see that as soon as you're overweight, you have a skinny brain. If you're over 50, your brain stops using ketones. It stops using glucose, the fuel that's readily available. All of the Snickers and the Ben and Jerry's that you eat and all of the processed carb food that you eat turns into glucose in the body. That's why we have an epidemic of diabetes in kids. And when you're over 50, the brain stops using that fuel. So you become a little bit more confused. You forget things a little bit easier and you want to go create goals. Listen, if you're over 30 years old, you're going to live a stressful life for the rest of your life. For the most part, 98% of you, guaranteed. Statistics prove it out because you're not going to upgrade your brain. You're going to struggle. You're going to settle. Some of you have already decided on where you're going to settle. And you're going to decide that everything that's gotten you here, that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, and you're going to marry somebody, hang out with somebody who's going to maybe not elevate you. They'll make you feel good. They'll put you on a pedestal that's 17 pedestals smaller than the one you're supposed to be on. And you're going to start to settle, and you're going to start to become the average of your thoughts. And you're going to say, I'm only looking for days where life is just a little bit better. It's your brain. There's nothing else. Your desire sucks. Your vision is horrible. Your want, your wish, your dream is big. I'm not saying you don't dream big. What I'm saying is that your ability to execute is your brain. Your ability to visualize is the story you tell in yourself, self-talk. Your ability to follow through when the task gets tough and you get aggravated, you get headaches. Oh my gosh, I got a headache. I woke up this morning. I wrote down my goals last night and I woke up with, that's neuroencoding. And all of this you're trying to do, and your brain is absolutely dehydrated, unlubricated, omegas, EPA, DHEA. Go Google it. DEA and EPA. Go Google it and go find out what the not the daily recommended allowance, right? The government wants to keep you a little bit stuck. They want you to have the minimum. Go look at the Amen Clinic, the guy that's the one that has the most studies, the most images of brains on the planet. And they go Google what he found out when he took 40 of his next patients to see how much fish oil, how much EPA, how much omegas they had in their brain. You're supposed to have around an 8. The highest they had at his clinic was a 2. Most people were a 1. Can you imagine if you took 3 of the spark plugs out of your car, one of the tires off of your car, and you had to go run a race called life every day? Screw drifting. Hell, you can't even get to drifting. Your engine ain't running. Well, I have this addiction to. Really? That's the story you're going to use? I'm just addicted to TikTok. I'm addicted to sweets. I'm addicted to smoking. I'm addicted to drugs. Get over it. I can promise you, I can end any addiction that you have in a matter of minutes. And it doesn't take any drug. Well, it takes the drugs that you can produce in your head. When you decide you want to be held accountable for your success, when you want to be held accountable for the dreams and the promises you made to your family, to your children, how many of you are going to allow your children to suffer like you? You want them better, so tell me what better suffering looks like. Let me in on better suffering. That's going to be a new t-shirt. I let my children suffer better. This is all in your brain, ladies and gentlemen. And when you decide that you're going to literally decide to take care of your future, it doesn't matter what antioxidant you have. Important, your brain, the hardware in your brain needs an upgrade, and you need to upgrade it to ketones. Go Google it. I'm going to tell you to get it from me, because if you wind up upgrading your brain for me, I'll show you what self-talk really can do for you, not against you. Well, if you get that program from me, if you start to fuel your brain with ketones through me, all of a sudden I will teach you what addiction to approval sounds like, feels like. I'll help you understand that why you've been stuck is the ancestral programming that's been inside you. So you can go read Think and Grow Rich. How's it working for you? Why don't everybody who read Think and Grow Rich, every person who reads Think and Grow Rich, why aren't they thinking and growing rich? You can read The Millionaire Next Door. You can read Born Rich. The reason that it doesn't translate into that beautiful brain of yours is because your hardware is 500,000 years old and getting worse with all of the sugars and all of the stress. Anybody stressed? I'm not even going to ask you. Suicides at its highest rate, alcohol consumption at its highest rate, drug addiction skyrocketing because people are trying to numb their brain so they don't have to deal with the outside world. When you're ready to power up your decision-making hardware, you need to reach out to me. Period. End of story. Now, there's other people who do it. There's other people who sell products. There's nobody who sells the product who is able to train you like I'm able to train you. There's nobody else who allows you to upgrade your brain and can teach you about addiction to approval, self-talk, gives you access to all of this. If you struggle, if you're a mom, oh my gosh, your mom brain needs ketones, period. End of story. I know moms who are dealing with their little itty bitties. And when the little itty bitties tear the house to hell and back, they actually giggle about it now. It's because their brain is powered by ketones. Has nothing to do with their love. They love their kids. You love your kids. The thing is that you lose your shit because your software is a 500,000-year-old software when you become that mom. You're running off the ancestral seeds. Now, forget about your hardware. Your software is to react and get mad and think that's how you're going to train the kid, because that's how you were trained. Let me help you upgrade your hardware so that this coming year, you'll finally have no excuse to reach the levels of success you want. It's literally that simple. You keep working harder. And the reason that you're working harder is you've got to work harder because your hardware is such an old hardware. Could you imagine if every one of you had, you're trying to operate on Windows 98 software, but you're using the first computers that were out? How many of you still use the first computers that were out? How many of you know that on your cell phone, you've got more computing power than the module they sent to the moon, Apollo 13? The moon lander, your phone has more software and hardware than the moon lander. It's time to upgrade your brain. I'm not asking you to commit to anything. I'm asking you to put it on a trial. Try it out. Get it. You've listened. There's so much shit you've bought, nutritional, self-help wise, book wise, program wise. It's still sitting on the shelf. The owner, the manufacturer didn't come with it. They're not sitting in your corner of your cabinet of your library every time you walk over there going, yeah, you should pick me up. Here's why you should pick me up. Here's the 7 reasons why you should pick me up and read me today. You decide you want to upgrade your brain. This is my mission, is to upgrade brain hardware. See, nobody's talked to you about hardware. The only reason that you'll go talk about hardware is when somebody's got a concussion. Nobody's saying, well, what book did they read before they got the concussion? Was it a book they read before they got the concussion? How many of you, if you've ever had a concussion, did they say, so what self-help guru are you watching? What algorithm of Facebook do you understand? You must not have upgraded your understanding of Facebook algorithm when you got a concussion. No, you effed up your hardware. When's the next time we talk about hardware? Alzheimer's. When you go talk to your mom or your dad and they don't remember you. You're not asking, do they have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal? Their hardware's fucked. Alzheimer's happens in the brain 20, 30 years before it ever becomes visual. The hippocampus has to be, when the hippocampus starts to fail at its functioning, there's already been the indicators, the amyloid plaque that's been running around inside the brain for years, for 20 years before it's detected. On the outward side, there's ways through fMRIs and PET scans that you can find it now, but it's $5,000. Who's going to spend $5,000 to take a picture of their brain to see if they're prone to Alzheimer's? I can tell you a lot of it has to do with your decision making, running at a subconscious level. So, are you a drifter? The way that you just stop drifting is you make some decisions. And when you're ready to upgrade your brain hardware, you got to reach out to me. Can you go buy it on Amazon? Can you go buy a ketone someplace? Oh, hell yes. How many of you have a favorite style of pen? Why don't you steal the pens from the post office or from the bank? Meaning you use it and you walk out and you go, oh, I forgot to turn the pen back. No, you have your favorite pen. Some people spend like $200, $400 on a Mont Blanc, or one's even more expensive. The average person spends $600 on the outside of their head. They spend about $6 on the inside. When you're ready to upgrade your hardware, when you're ready to operate at version now, powered by ketones, you need to reach out to me. You'll not get the same. You'll get this. You can get the same product from people who sell the same product, but you won't get the same performance because they don't understand the brain. They don't understand to tell you how to teach you how to use and upgrade your brain. I spent 40 years in the study of how do we upgrade the brain where all decision making happens. Yeah, but how much is it? How much is it to sit on your bed and not know your kids? 30, 40, 50 years from now. How much would you pay? Tell me this. How much would you pay to not forget your grandkids? This is how serious this is. They're saying that the amount of people who are going to be diagnosed with the forgetting disease is going to quadruple in the next 50 years. What do you think your chances of staying out of that are? Well, I'm healthy. I don't care how good your heart is. If you can't, thank God it beats on its own, right? If you can't remember your grandkids, I don't know if that's healthy. I don't know. So reach out to me. I'll show you how to get started. I'll show you how to get a trial pack in your hands. Yes, this is when you've got to protect yourself from the onslaught of the brain diseases. It's 20, 30 years before it ever happens. Reach out to me. DM me. Get some in your hands. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. I am your brain training, brain understanding misfit. I'll see you all where? I'll see you at the next event. Thanks, everybody. Till then, well, Instagram, I'll see you over on Monday, right? The VIP weekends happen. So I'll see you guys here back on Monday. I love you tons. If you want to reach out and have a conversation, just reaching out to me doesn't cost you anything. If you want to have a conversation about understanding this more, reach out to me. We'll have a conversation. And then you get to decide if you want to upgrade your hardware. I love you tons. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Till then, bye for now. YouTube, I love you guys. Great to see you all here. I am your head brain training misfit. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Till then,